Answer the following questions as quickly as you can. What's 1 plus 4? What's 5 plus 2? What's 7 take away 3? Name a vegetable. Did you by any chance say carrot as the vegetable? A surprising majority of people do, and when you do a similar test and ask for a fruit, most people say apple. These are what's known as prototypical examples. Of all the vegetables you could choose, people are most likely to pick carrot because it seems the most vegetable-like vegetable. Similarly, in reaction time tests for classifying things, people will more quickly say that a robin is a bird than a penguin. Why is this? Well, robin is more prototypical in the class of bird. They fly, they have feathers, they make nests, you see them in your garden. Whereas penguins, they don't fly, they live in a far off place, and they're associated with other classes such as cuteness or clumsiness, or even figures in popular culture. And the speed of selecting these examples is significant because it points to lower cognitive load. At the start, I asked you to do a maths problem, and then I said, now go and get me a vegetable. So your brain had to switch to a totally different class and select something. And what it does for efficiency is it picks the first thing it can find, the one with the lowest cognitive load, in that case, carrot. So this has significance in communication if you use examples and images that are prototypical. This, for example, this is a Duracell battery, but it's also a power supply. It's not the official symbol for power supply, but if you put this into a circuit, everyone knows what it is. Similarly, in this presentation, a graph, which is an abstract, sometimes complicated thing, is linked back to 3 real-world examples and 3 visuals, 3 modes of transport that were shown earlier in the presentation. So using prototypical examples helps explain something complicated. For example, a presentation on logistic regression. Statistics, always complicated. Logistic regression is when you have an event with one of 2 outcomes and you want to assign a probability to it. So which example did they choose? Well, one of the examples was a penalty shootout. This has one of 2 outcomes, score or fail to score, and people are very familiar with this scenario. Also, it's very interesting to people. Another thing they did was they did a demo in the room. They put apples and oranges in a bag and got people to select them and then assign probabilities. And even another very clever step was they put the little apple icon into the equation. So you're visually making a connection between the abstract equation and the demo that was done on the day. But one thing about prototypicality is it varies from group to group and from time to time. So if I said to you name a rock group, a lot of people will say Oasis, partly because they're popular, partly because I said rock as opposed to pop or music, but mostly probably because they played a lot of concerts recently, so they're in people's consciousness. And interestingly, a different presentation I saw on logistic regression done more recently used this example, the antigen test, because at the time, it was 2021, people were doing these tests, they had one of 2 outcomes, and they were very important and significant and well known to people at that time. Interestingly, I'd say if someone gave a presentation today on logistic regression, they're quite unlikely to use the antigen test example because we've kind of forgotten about COVID, haven't we? So choose examples that are most immediately recognizable to the audience to lower cognitive load. So if you're explaining something complex, something abstract, which often you will be, choose examples, choose images and language that's as immediately recognizable as possible.